your final answer?
Yes, because my friends used to live there. My friends used to live there.
Would they refer to it as a capital city?
I
mean, there ain't much going on in Sacktown other than it being the capital.
They liked it. It's a very small town feel in California, and it's landlocked. So, I mean, it's just sunny. But
God, I was checking in with my best friends lives in L.A. I was like, Jesus, are you guys washed away? And this footage from L.A., they're getting like a year's worth of rain in 24 hours, what they call an atmospheric river. It just comes out of the sky and starts washing stuff away. And he's like, well, my in-laws are flying in from Chicago, and then he and his wife are supposed to fly to France on Thursday, this trip they've been planning. And so they're hoping it doesn't jam anything up. There's about 1 million people without power in California. If you've seen any of the footage, it's bonkers. They had 60-mile-an-hour winds in San Francisco, knocking down electrical lines and stuff. And it was just going down the coast. You know, remember a couple of years ago when they were like, oh, part of PCH just washed away.
Just casual.
Right, like a major artery. They're like, yeah, you got to take really long detours because part of the highway washed away.
And everyone's taking the same detours because that road is so important. They have one highway that goes through the entire state.
Well, they've had mudslides in the Hollywood Hills. I mean, imagine when Leonardo DiCaprio's house washes away. The latest storm is called a Pineapple Express, and not for anything good. So it dumps a bunch of snow in the mountains, and a bunch of rain just starts washing things away in the city and the surrounding areas. L.A. County. So, yeah, Hollywood Hill, you know, there's a lot of mudslides.
I don't think I would like living in California, even if I had the money.
I liked it.
It's a different. It's a culture shock. They talk different. They look different.
Talk different? What do you mean?
I mean, it's just the West Coast vibe. Like everything is just kind of.
Makes you feel any better? They're going to think we talk different.
Apparently, I guess I am sold on the fact that Ohio has an accent. I didn't think they had an accent. We had an accent before, but.
People keep saying that, but I don't know what it is.
Well, I had to think about it, and then they say Ohioans, we're the only people that don't pronounce their T's when it's a name like Minner. Like, instead, people say mentor, and we say Minner. I was like, oh, I guess we do that. We just know that it's Minner. I don't, and everyone else might say, I'm going to mentor, which sounds
well, that's
really
one
weird.
word, and it's a proper name.
But other names with T's in them, like, I forget which other ones, but Minner was just like an example.
I mean, Strongsville, that T is pronounced.
No, everybody calls it Strongsville.
We live on Strongsville.
We're in Strongsville.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that to me doesn't rise to the level. That's not an accent, though. That's like dropping a...
Yeah, that's a pronunciation. That's
all kinds of people do that kind of... You know, when I came here, I asked
Louisville.
people...
Well, in New Orleans, they say, I was talking with Sean Patton about it, and he says, don't say Nolans. Nobody says that.
Right. It's like calling San Francisco Frisco when you
Right.
go out there. Then nobody calls it that.
They say New Orleans. That's how they say it. Or something like that.
It's like, you know, from out of towners, they'll come in and they'll call it Cleveland. And I'm like, no one's stop doing that.
No,
I know you're trying
Cleveland.
I know you're trying to sound cool, but nobody here calls it that.
Cleveland.
Cleveland. I'm like, I've been living here long enough now where I know nobody calls it that.
Is it Manaway or Manawa?
What?
Manaway.
Manaway.
Okay, well,
Nate, our old intern, is from there. He called it Manaway.
It looks like
Ex-wife
Manawa.
from there, yeah.
Mantua.
Right. No, listen, proper names of cities and towns, all bets are off.
Or like Tuscarawas.
Tuscarawas. It's not that hard to say.
Tuscarawas.
Not hard to say. Tuscarawas.
I just say Tusk Valley or Tusk County.
Just remember Tusk and Walrus. They go together.
Tuscarawas.
Tuscarawas County.
Tuscarawas.
Yeah. Nailed it.
Tuscarawas.
Right.
Canton.
Yeah, but that's just lazy language too. That's, you know, if somebody said Canton, Ohio, you'd know what they were talking about.
Well, this is just as of recent. This dude that I was talking to swore up and down that I had an accent. And I was like, no. He's like, you do. And I'm like, no, I don't. He's like, you speak like someone from the South. I was like, I barely speak proper English at all. So if you're talking about people from the South, then that's what it is. But I don't think I have an accent. And then he showed me some evidence. I'm like, okay, well, maybe it's a Northeast Ohio thing. I have no idea.
I don't know either. I mean, a lot of other places I've lived, there are regional sounds and things. And
Orville.
What? I'm sorry?
Orville.
Orville?
Orville.
Well, that's 2 R's. That's not a Orville?
Orville.
Alan, semen retention and testosterone levels have no relation, but not climaxing helps retain protein for muscle growth and recovery. I don't know if I take the word of a nerd over a bodybuilder. Yeah, that's been completely debunked.
Sorry, I want to finish, y'all. I'm not one of these new school cats where
Right.
they're like, being horny turns me on. I'm like, just being horny turns you on?
Because when you don't release, your body just absorbs it, and guys think that means that they're
going to be able to turn into
completely debunked.
But that's not how your body builds muscle. It's
Right.
not once it's reabsorbed, it doesn't like you have to.
Doesn't stack up in your
It
body.
doesn't stack up. Like the body the protein that your body turns into muscle is protein that you eat. So if you want to retain your semen that way, have at it, bud.
Yeah, right.
God, just stop cutting corners. Just do regular protein.
Right.
Like, stop trying to do extra stuff.
And just because guys are big doesn't mean that they know there's all kinds of bodybuilders who believe all kinds of voodoo.
Mm-hmm. And then what they're really doing is
Steroids. Yeah, right. Human growth hormone, whatever. Yeah, this is all natural. They look like Zac Efron looks like he's ready to explode.
Who was it that just had to come clean? The guy from Reacher. That dude had
Alan Richson.
Yeah.
He's like, by the way, I did do. Well, of course you did.
Yes.
Look at him, and
You
I know
gained 40 pounds of muscle. You can't do that without HGH or something like that.
he looks like AI, and I love that show, but he looks like AI created him, right? I mean, I know it was 10, 15 years ago, but when he was younger, he was in The Hunger Games. And then he was in a movie a couple of years ago, and he was in pretty good shape, but they told him when he auditioned for Reacher, you're not big enough. And he was a big guy. So he looks different just between season 1 and season 2 of this show. He's coming up in that new Guy Ritchie movie.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, the League of Gentlemanly Warfare or something.
Yeah.
It looks good. But yeah, he's like, what'd he say though? Because he kind of minced words. He's like, it's natural, but I did do testosterone therapy or something.
Yeah, TRT, I think he said. He's like, I did do TRT, but
under the guidance of a professional. It's like,
okay,
well, that's good, but
yeah.
you did it. Semen retention makes you angry, not stronger. Yeah. Why
'cause you're all
stress
pent up.
No wonder these guys are all pissed off. Just
finish.
Yes.
Feels good.
Come on.
Just have, like, control. You don't have to do it 4 times a day.
Yes, you do.
Listen to him. He
Yes,
knows.
you do.
4 times
Four
a
times
day.
a day, wow.
Jesus.
That's the only thing you have left that American society hasn't taken from you. You can finish anytime you want to. It's free. Do it. Do it as often as you can before they start taxing it.
Speaking of free, how's your job hunt going?
It's on the hunt.
What do you mean, speaking of free?
Well, I mean, he needs things to be free because needs more money.
Oh, I
Well,
see.
yes, I absolutely need more money, and I'm still looking. Like, I've put in several applications. It's just a matter of...
Where?
Well, all over. It's
Well,
no places in particular.
Give us an idea. No places in particular? Would you throw resumes off a rooftop?
No, because there's some that I'm skilled in, like, customer service and, like, recruitment, and I've done some of those.
So like similar companies to what you were doing before.
Sure, like staffing. Yeah. So I've applied to some of those, but I understand that it's going to be hard to find that to work with my schedule being part-time.
Well,
so
a lot of companies, my question was, a lot of companies, they will bring people back into the fold. There was no other thing you could do for the company you were working for?
I mean, I didn't really get the option. When they say you're laid off, you're laid off. Like,
I know, but
I didn't negotiate. Like, they said,
no.
turn in your laptop. I said, turn in my laptop.
No. What I'm saying is a lot of companies, they'll swing the axe and then go, oh, we cut too much, right? Like a lot of companies overhired, especially these tech companies. Everybody's freaking out because these tech companies are slashing people. It's because during the pandemic, they overhired all these people working remotely. So now they're kind of getting it back to where they were before. And they're not alone in that. There's some companies that go, oh, we just got rid of too many people to get them off the books. And some companies end up hiring some people back. I wondered if that was an option at that company you were working for.
Not that I know of.
Okay.
I mean, they have all my information. So, no, I mean, again, I don't have any ill will towards them. It's been 6 years. I have really good longevity. I like to stay at positions that I get because good jobs are hard to come by, especially for me. So, yeah, I just, my main thing is something close to home and something to work with my schedule. And worst case scenario, I mean, I talk so much crap about Uber Eats. It might be my turn to do it. I don't know. But good thing I worked as hard as I did last year because I would not be able to live right now. I'm living off of like my savings and then the pennies I get from this show. So on top of that, I just need something to supplement my income.
Are you open to something different than what you've done, like maybe service industry or something like that?
I mean, I have done service industry, and yes,
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah, I did it for a year.
Yeah. You go back to bartending, maybe.
Bartending, bar backing. Yeah. I mean, I'm not skilled as a bartender, but I'm more than willing to learn. And beggars can't be choosers. So just depending on if they're willing to work with me, hell yeah. I mean, I need money. It's hard out here for a pimp.
You've thought about pimping?
I was going to say, is he the pimp in this scenario?
Right.
Yeah, okay.
I can't pimp as much as I would like to because it's hard out here. That's why.
I can't pimp as much as I would like. I'd really like to pimp.
Like, I can't even, like, I've been telling dudes be like, oh, we should go out. I'm like, not until I get my whole job situation. Like, that's how frugal I am. I'm like, I'm turning, like, we can bang, but we can't date because I don't have any money to take you on a date, and I refuse to be that bum dude. So
they're like, oh, darn, we can only have sex. We can't date. Darn.
Well, it's just my principles. Because I was like, this year I'm not going to jump into no, I don't want to just have sex. I want to, create a bond.
Make love.
I said I want to have a partner. And I'm like, well, I can't do that right now. I ain't got no money. So it won't be 50-50. So I'll just give you my good, 35 until I can give you the rest when I get a job.
All right, well, that's one way to go about it. You're trying to hold up your end of the bargain if you're in a dating situation.
I fully believe that. I don't want to be the person like, oh, well, I'm really I'm short this month. Like, I wouldn't listen. I wouldn't tolerate that from a dude. I'm like, well, you're not ready to be in a relationship yet. So ain't no Valentine's Day, no vacations, no little booed up courtside with a drink in your hand until you get a job. That's just how I feel. That's just me. So
somebody left me a message on the app about Poundcake in prison from last week.
Alan, Rich down in Jacksonville, Florida, listening back to the podcast on Friday, and you guys are discussing Poundcake going to jail, and he wouldn't be able to do it because he doesn't like reading. But then he changed his mind. He might just end up being the bitch for the alpha jail prisoner. What if the alpha jail prisoner already has a bitch? Is Poundcake willing to fight to become bottom bitch? It's going to be a war of bitches. Hit the show. Bye.
And those two are not mutually exclusive. You can.
Well, that was my thought.
You can be able to read and also be someone's bitch. I could teach the dude how to read. That's what's going to set me apart from the other bottom bitch because they're going to be doing.
Imagine
everything.
Poundcake is the one who teaches you to read.
They don't know me.
I mean, if you're illiterate, the only way to go is up.
Yeah.
They don't know me on the outside.
They want to know you on the inside.
No, they want me to store stuff on the inside. They're like, all right, mole.
Hey, put this phone in there.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, man, this is used for love, not for,
Used for love, not for cargo.
I'm not a carrier pigeon.
Man, a little cargo plane there on the inside. Well, love's in the air, right? You see, Bob Saget's widow is dating Breckin Meyer. Remember Breckin Meyer?
That's a weird one.
He's going out with Kelly Rizzo. Well, it's more age appropriate, I guess. Saget was like 19 years older than her, I think. She's going out with Breckin Meyer. He was the dude with the long hair and Clueless, and he was one half of Franklin and Bash, Remember Franklin and Bash?
Oh, yeah, that was...
him and Mark Paul Gosselaar.
Yeah.
Bob Saget's
What
been
else
dead
was
for a
he
couple
in?
years ago.
He was in a few things.
Wasn't
that was
he?
Ethan Embry. I was thinking of...
Wasn't Breckenmeyer in like Road Trip or Sex Trip or Canoe
I think
Trip
it
or
was
one of
Road
those?
Trip, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was Road Trip.
So, yeah. Saget's adult children gave the new relationship their blessing. So the two of them are
That's
together.
nice.
There you go.
Everybody deserves love.
Indeed. Hey, Eric.
Hey, Alan.
How are you?
Good. Doing great. Hey, you were talking about Ohio accents, Cleveland accent specifically.
Poundcake was,
I'm
yeah.
in Penn. Yeah. I grew up in the area, but I live in Pittsburgh now. I'm your Penn Hills bureau chief.
Yeah.
And I know you've done a lot of Yinzer Allen over the years, but when I'm back home here, I definitely pick up on like the Cleveland voice. It just sounds different. Like, not to name drop them, but like when the chick that does the Ganley Auto, come on down to Ganley Auto. It's very different. There's just some certain letters, vowels, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, but she's in Indianapolis, Eric.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of it's a Midwestern thing, and maybe that's why you don't pick up on it because
It might be, yeah.
Chicago, like Northeast Ohio, like Fort Wayne, where that nature reserve is. We all kind of sound the same.
I mean, when I first moved to Pittsburgh, they told me that I had a weird accent, and I was like, I have a weird accent?
Yeah, right. I felt it when I moved there. I just kind of was like, felt like I had to try to fit in. But Mike Polk did a good report on it over there at Channel 3. Look it up. He just kind of covered the whole thing, talk with some experts. I'm no expert on it, but I definitely pick up on it.
You ever get over, Eric, you ever get over to the Monroeville Mall anymore?
Oh, yeah, I live over there. Yeah, everyone says there used to be a good ice skating rink there. But
there used to be. They turned it into a Chick-fil-A, I think.
Yeah, but you have to turn left where the ice skating rink used to be, and then you go over where the Dillards used to be, and then over there, I mean...
That's right.
The whole mall's gone down. Though.
You're over there by you're not too far from the zoo, but aren't you over? You're right by Pasqualino's. They got the best rotini over at Pasqualino's.
I'd rather listen to another
there's
call
about
from
like
Dick.
20 pizza places there.
It's right across the river from Blawnox, I think. You get over to Blawnox, you go right up to Pasqualino's.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Eric.
Oh, yeah, I got some friends over there. Yeah, have a good one.
All right, there you go. There's Eric. He's in Penn Hills. Right outside downtown Pittsburgh. You get over on the east side. Not that far from the Frick Museum either. The whole Frick family, they got a museum named after him. Could you imagine, Bill? Imagine. You're named Frick, and you got a museum.
That'd be crazy.
I don't even know if it's shortened from Frickerstein or what it is, but come on now. All right, I got a break. I'll have those.